Hi, and welcome to Chats con Sabor. This is Linda, and I'm here with my beautiful co host, Yvette and Joanna. And we are excited to be together once again and share our thoughts with our listeners. And today we're going to be talking about Valentine's Day since it's coming up soon. So, how are you guys doing today?
Doing great. Doing
Great.
fantastic. I also want to let our listeners know that this is the final episode for season one.
That's
and
right.
we will be taking a break
Mm-hmm.
for the month of February. We'll be back in March, hopefully with video episodes.
That's
We'll be
right.
working on some stuff.
Yep. Exciting new things coming for us,
Mhm.
which is awesome. So, yeah, stay tuned.
Absolutely. And please don't forget to leave comments. We've been sharing on Instagram that if you guys have stories that you want to share with us based on our topics or conversation,
Mhm.
or maybe you guys have questions about our stories and the things that we talk about, feel free to drop us a message, leave a comment in Spotify or YouTube, and we'll be more than happy to talk about it in one of our following podcasts.
Mhm.
We look forward to it.
So, all things Valentine's Day, I want to kick it off with a question for you ladies.
Mhm.
What does Valentine's Day actually mean to you? Is it real for you? Is it a real special holiday? I know we've all been married here. We've all been in long-term relationships prior to the ones that you're in now. So, what have your experiences been? Has it been like a focal point when your past relationships?
For me, a little bit. I used to make it a point to make like little goodie bags for my kids. You know, kids notice everything. So I want to say that even in 1 year, my son was like, "How come we get things and you don't?" You know, like if it's about loving those that you care about, right? Because we try to not make it so about your couple, I guess, but instead you're an opportunity to show love
Mm-hmm.
to those that you care about. And then I think that's when it became a little bit more real within my relationship after that conversation. Um, but what I came to find out recently is I'm tired to kind of minimize what I like and what I enjoy, you know. And you know what, I'm a romantica. I love love. I love all love everything, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And I do enjoy Valentine's Day. It's another reason. It's not about. I understand the whole. You know, you should be celebrated every day and not just that one day or just your anniversary. I get that. But if I feel like if you really care about your other person and your partner or you know, you're romantics, because I know there's people that don't require that much energy or that much attention, kind of like the whole friendship, a cactus friendship or a bonsai tree friendship type of situation. Relationships are different, right? In my case, I'm tired of pretending that I don't like to be babied. I love to be babied and feel feminine and taken care of and bring me flowers and
Mm-hmm.
make me feel special. So yeah, I do. Valentine's is real for me and I like it. I enjoy it.
Joe?
Well, I don't care too much for it, but at the same time, I do like it. Especially like Kevin is super romantic, and he like does all these cute little things. Like he put a book together for Valentine's Day for us and stuff like that. So he makes it very sweet. I've really never had like a super that I can remember romantic Valentines, We would do the same thing. Like we would put little baskets or something together for our boys and, stuff like that, just so they felt special.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But like, it's just kind of another day for me. I mean, yeah, I love the romance. I love the romance. But I love the romance every day, and I love the cuddles and the loving and feeling like a woman.
I think for me, I okay. Hold on. I'm like, let me get my thoughts together here because I'm always the lone wolf. I feel. For me, most holidays are commercialized, way over shoved down our throats, and the whole conditioning thing. And the whole time I was married, this is not just like, okay, I'm a conspiracy theorist now. It's got nothing to do with that. The whole time I was married, which was big part of my adult life, we never really celebrated Valentine's Day, but yet we did special things for each other on other days of the year. I feel like if I have to go and wait 3 hours to get into a restaurant, or have to make sure that I'm making a reservation, like,
That's
a
insane.
month ahead of time, because I can't get in because everybody and their neighbor is out there, because it's one fucking day that, I'm sorry, who told us that this was a special day? You know what I'm saying? That's my whole thing to it. Now, if I'm at work and I come home and, my ex made me a special dinner, and he had maybe a friend of ours or somebody else taking care of the kids, and all of a sudden it's a romantic night at home where we're going to get freaky deaky, and he made me dinner and everything is, he went out like that, like putting a book together, like you said with Kevin, something like that, I would appreciate on Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
But like I said, to be in the whole, and then again, I don't like being around people, like big crowds and groups like that. So that's another thing, and that's always been me.
Well,
but
even though I love Valentine's, I will say I don't like that. I dislike that. I'm totally okay having a special dinner a different day that week.
yeah,
I don't
Yeah.
have to go on Valentine's
on that
Day,
day.
because it's true. It's ridiculous. You have to wait an
Yeah.
hour and a half just to find a table if you don't have a reservation.
Yeah.
And it's probably going to be at Olive Garden because it's the only thing,
Sometimes it's hard to get in.
I know.
That's what I'm trying to say. It's going to be an hour and a half to go into Olive Garden. We're not even talking about a nice, beautiful, fancy
steakhouse
restaurant
or something.
Yeah, like it's not the case. So I definitely don't like that part of it. But I do want to,
So does it matter to you if you have someone special? Again, I know you guys are both in committed relationships now, but like you, Linda, last year you didn't have anybody. You had just basically split from your 12-year relationship,
Right.
Your marriage. How did you feel about Valentine's Day at that point? Was it something that you were missing? You felt like you were missing?
No, that I did not. I guess in my head, the whole Valentine's is if you have a partner. Like I do remember back in like high school, right? You had like FOMO, fear of missing out. Oh my gosh, everybody has a Valentine's, or they did that thing where they will send you like a flower, a rose, or something. Your secret admirer in class, and then you felt left out. Okay, back then, yes, I felt the need of having a Valentine's because it was a thing. Yeah. Everybody had a Valentine, even if it was for one day only. You needed to have somebody,
right?
But nowadays, I don't think so. I think that is an overkill. I feel like now you're just looking for attention, and you're trying to validate who you are, and into a one day, rather than being about you and your other person.
Right.
Now, I will say last year I became my own Valentine's. I bought myself flowers. I went
nice.
and I had a bubble bath.
I'm sorry.
Hi, Miley.
Oh God, yes, I definitely sang that song because I did buy my own damn flowers. But then turned a candle, a bubble bath, and kind of made it about me and loving myself.
See, now that self-care and self-love, promoting
That's
self-love, I would do that too,
Mm-hmm.
So you girls know that and I think I've shared this on a previous episode, that I did the whole 7-year sabbatical, where after my divorce, I was in a relationship with somebody and we broke up the 2 days before Valentine's Day.
Wow.
Okay. And yeah, for me, that was not okay because, I think at that point, maybe it was fear of missing out, because during my whole marriage, we didn't really celebrate it. I mean, maybe I can count on one hand the number of times out of the whole 22 years that I was with him, how many times he actually made it Valentine's special for me. And not to his chagrin or anything, I'm not going to sit here and bash him because I didn't make it special either. It wasn't important to me. But where he went out of his way and did his own thing to try to make it special for me, I could probably count on one hand. So the first year that I was divorced, I'm with somebody, and yeah, I thought it was kind of weird that I felt like I was missing out on something. But then after that, the 7 years after that, I really didn't care. I went back to not caring. I went back to like, what the fuck was wrong with me last year? But because I was with somebody, and I think it was just the whole,
emotional
and the
part
way
of
that
it.
relationship had, ended.
Correct.
So yeah, it was, I'm sorry, it wasn't the year after I got married. I mean, I got divorced. It was the year after that. That was the Valentine's side. So I did spend 1 year, I guess, by myself, and it didn't matter to me. And then
Right.
all of a sudden, I was in a relationship.
Well, it's the emotional part of probably in the back of your head, even if you were not looking forward to Valentine's Day, you knew you were going to have somebody that day to spend the day with.
Well, and then I was kind of like, well, fuck, this relationship didn't even last. And I was pissed because of the way the relationship ended. And then, it lasted what, like 7.5, almost 8 months. And I'm like, oh my God, literally 2 days before Valentine's Day, I felt like it all exploded and I walked away. But what about you, Joe? Was there a time in between? Because I know you dated before you met Kevin. I know you dated like in between. So have there been years where you're kind of like, no Valentine? And does that mean anything to you?
Not really. I don't, like I said, I don't remember any Valentine's Day that actually sticks out. Like, holy shit, So, like, I don't know. When I was dating and then I was by myself, I really enjoyed being by myself.
Yeah, so
because I'm a bit of an introvert too. So, I honestly don't remember anything. I mean, like I said, like Kevin's super romantic. He flowers. I would find flowers on my door at my house. I would find flowers on our bikes while he would put on my motorcycle. Like he's always been super romantic. It's something that I'm not. I don't think I can become accustomed to. I love it.
Yeah.
Because it makes me feel special. But I don't think I've ever had it.
Well, and I will say that I love love too. Like I'm a hopeless romantic. I love reading books about love, watching movies about love. I'm a sucker for a rom-com. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
me too.
I'm even a sucker for Hallmark movies, but don't tell Yvonne that, okay? Because I'm always making fun of her. But yeah, so I love the idea of love and I love love, but I feel like that particular day is just so over commercialized and so shoved down our throats. Like, so I think that it puts a lot of pressure, like even on our kids, because I remember when my kids were little having to like participate, like they had to participate. Otherwise they wouldn't participate. They wouldn't get anything. So then they had to sit there and write out the little Valentine's cards. At first, like with my son, I thought it was cute. With my 2 daughters after that, I didn't think it was so cute. I was like, man, this puts a lot of pressure on them, on, if they have crushes and whatever, like, you know what I mean? I don't know why it changed. Like a switch just kind of flipped with me when I had my daughters and going through that with them. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think there's a lot of pressure on kids with Valentine's Day?
Yes. And I think the pressure comes from that rule of if you don't bring something, nobody can give you anything type of situation.
Yeah.
Because I've had years where, life is lifing and I'm running around like a chicken with no head. And then I don't even realize Valentine's Day is the next day or in that week. And then my son will be like, hey, if we don't buy anything, I can't get anything. Like, and obviously he doesn't want to miss out on the fun. But literally I'm the one doing all the work. Like now that he's getting, like he's older, I'm going to make him write the 30 names on the little cards himself. But I'm the one putting 30 names, or 25, whatever students are in the class, and having to write their name and from login to whatever, and all the little goodie bags and everything. It is a little bit of a production that I think is unnecessary. Not just that, but I also I think about people that are not financially stable.
Can't afford it. You're right.
And then they have to provide candy and, a little card to 25 students. Like, or if another kid cannot participate, how rude is that?
And that's what I'm saying.
Some of the teachers can't afford it.
Yeah. And we would get emails. Hey, if anybody has if you can donate. Okay, well, now I'm not only buying for my kid. Now I've got to be stressed out about your kid. The kids that don't, just so everybody, how about we don't put that pressure on our kids? It causes a lot of anxiety for children too, I feel. And I think it goes along with the whole conditioning our children to, when they're really little, really puts importance on a day that is made up, on a holiday that is made up. Well, all holidays are made up, but you know what I'm saying? Again, the whole non-participation and then the oh my gosh, I'm going to miss out because, I didn't bring any, or my mom forgot, or we can't afford it, or whatever it is. Can you imagine what that does to a kid's psyche? I don't know. I guess I see things very differently.
That's okay.
That's okay. Why you're special.
Special like special ed or just special?
You're our special.
Ay, ay, ay. What do you guys think about the pressures on men?
So I think you really want me to go there?
Yeah.
I'll go there.
Go there.
I think men need pressure. I think men lately they've been slacking. Yeah, all of a sudden it's like you don't have to do anything, and it's like no, show some interest and some love. I don't think. I think that's where we're going wrong with the whole feminine and masculine energy, that we're not allowing men to be men, or we're not keeping them accountable to be men and step up to the plate. And because the truth is that at least in our Hispanic world, right, we're watching novelas, we watch other different things, and it's like it's all about love and passion, right? Even yeah, it didn't matter if you're in high school. That's the conditioning that I grew up with, anyways. Where the novelas and the books, Gabriel Garcia Marquez, all these different poets. It's about love and passion and romance, and show your lady, show up to their house and bring music and serenade them. And when was the last time you saw a guy serenading a girl? Like I remember even back in the early 2000s, at least they would bring their car and put a song really loud in their car, and that was a way of serenading. Maybe you cannot afford paying a trio to come to sing
or
to
the
you.
loud music and making out in the car.
But yeah, it is a lot of pressure. I do see that, but at the same time, I feel like it's needed. I'm at this point, that's my perspective. I feel like it's needed.
I feel as though sometimes women put too much pressure on men to do things for them on Valentine's Day, and it's not reciprocated.
And I think that's the issue, where girls expect to get all these things, but they don't show appreciation to their men for it. They don't tell them, I'm proud of you, thank you for everything you're doing. I've seen you grow so much in this last year, whatever. And that's probably the reason why men are starting to lay back and not be so affectionate and not be so vulnerable, because it's not appreciated. It's not taken into account.
True.
Well, then you've got women like me who don't really put a lot of importance on the day. So then there's that, you know what I mean? But does it have to be on Valentine's Day? I mean, you can show love or respect and adoration on any other day.
Now, let me ask you, if somebody, you're supposed to somebody, right? It's Valentine's Day. I know that you don't care for Valentine's Day, right? But all of a sudden, I don't know, you went to the store to do groceries, and then you come back home and there's flowers here and a bottle of wine. We're not talking about a fancy ring or nothing or jewelry. No, we're talking about simple.
Or sexy lingerie on the bed.
Ooh.
Put this on.
Put this on.
Put
You're
this
gonna
on.
be my dessert. Like, wouldn't you be appreciated? Wouldn't you be taken back and be like, ooh?
Oh, 1,000%, 1,000%. But on the other side of that token, if I came home and there was nothing here for me on Valentine's Day, I'm not going to make my partner feel bad about it.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't mean that to me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that day is not special to me. Now, if he didn't get me something like, say, for Mother's Day or for my birthday or even for Christmas, for me, those holidays, even though I'm like grinding my teeth about it, because again, I feel like it's commercialized days, but I feel like those days are just a little bit more special, because those days are about me. So Valentine's Day is supposed to be about us, both of us, So if he does something for me, then I probably will feel the pressure of trying to do something for him as well. Yes, because I want him to feel special too.
Right.
But if we're in agreement that, it's not going to be, So in that case, if I came home in that scenario, if I came home and there's flowers there for me, which I'm not a big flower person, but I do appreciate getting flowers. I'm not going to be like, oh my God, I don't love flowers. I'm not unappreciative of them. I show gratitude. But I'm not like, oh my God, you never buy me flowers. It's not a big thing for me. It just isn't, never has been. But if I came home in that scenario, then I would be like, okay, well, let me make you some dinner, or let me make our, playtime
a little more exciting.
A little exciting and like, boom. Yeah, really make it special for him.
Where I was going with the painting that picture in the scenario to you is that, and this is my new outlook in life, I guess, right? Where now I'm not longer gonna feel guilty that to say that I like what I like. You know,
Yeah.
this is my expectation, and if you cannot meet it, then that's okay too. But I want to feel loved in such a way, right? In those same lines, I feel like if a guy wants to show you love, by doing that, he will. And it has nothing to do with you. Like, it has nothing to do with the pressure of society. He's gonna do it because he feels the desire to show you love,
Right.
And that you're worthy.
and that you're worthy. And it's like, okay, I understand Valentine's Day is not important to you, but you're important to me. So let me go ahead and show you that.
And again, that's what I was saying. If I come home and my ex made dinner for me and he was making that day special for me, then I'm going to show appreciation, of course, because, and that would be special for me. I wouldn't be like, oh my God, it's Valentine's Day. I'm not to that extreme. What I'm saying is he would probably do that on any other day as well. You know what I mean? And if he didn't do anything for, because there was a lot of times when we didn't do, and we would do stuff for the kids or stuff for like all of us. There was a year when we went to go have a picnic with the kids. And so it was about all of us together. It wasn't just about him and I. So things like that. I mean, it just, I think the whole just commercialization of it is what bothers me about it. Yeah. And putting the pressure on somebody to gift me something just for the sake of gifting me because it's Valentine's Day. I don't know. I don't see the importance of it in that way. I don't know.
We're getting her something for Valentine's Day.
Yes,
just because.
And I will love it. And I will love it. Okay. A big balloon that says, I love you.
Commercial this, baby.
That would be cute.
Oh, we gotta talk about it.
Oh, yes, on.
Oh my gosh. That is so funny. So as you were saying that though, about showing appreciation to your man as well and letting them know that they're doing the right things for you and because you can't expect a man, I feel going back to the whole like masculine and feminine energy, balancing it. If you're in your feminine, you can't expect a man to read your mind either.
Right.
So you can't just sit back and just be like, oh, give me princess treatment. Okay, what does that mean to you? What does princess treatment mean to you? You want me to be nice to you? Do you want me to open doors for you? Do you want me to buy you flowers once a month?
Massage my feet.
Massage my feet, massage my head, wash my hair. There's people who do that, things like that. What level is your expectation, right? So it made me think about, I used to work in HR many moons ago, and we took these
surveys.
They're like tests. The what is it called? The 5 love languages.
5 love languages, yeah.
It's about communication, how people receive love and how they give love. It's 2 different things, and you can't expect for someone to like. For me, I love to give people gifts, but I don't give everybody gifts. Like it's not only to special people that I feel connected to. So I will, and it doesn't have to be for your birthday. It doesn't have to be for Christmas. If I see something and I'm like, oh, I want to give this to whoever, and I'll buy it and I'll give it to you.
Friend anniversary.
Yeah.
That wasn't my friend's anniversary. I'm still a little bitter about that. Gosh. That was awful. But you know what? Talking about reciprocating, like you were saying about, if I didn't know he was giving me something, now I feel like I have to give you something. That's how I felt that day. I felt so guilty because then she made it seem like, okay, it's her friend's anniversary. Yeah. And here I am. Let me pick you up. And then, okay, so what are we doing? Oh, I'm not telling you, it's a surprise. And I'm like, what? For our friend's anniversary, there's a surprise? And then she gives me a card and a bottle. And don't get me wrong, I love Yvette. She's my girl. But now I'm like, hold on, I didn't buy you a card. I didn't get you anything. Yeah.
And again, that's the way I show love. But it's not necessarily how I receive love. For me, I'm very much about quality time and physical touch. But don't touch me in public. I don't like PDA. I don't like it like that. I don't like it like that. When I'm drinking is something different. And I'm touching. I'm doing the touching. That's different. if somebody's touching, you haven't seen, like, I get like,
Yeah, she cringe.
I cringe. I get like, oh, like, don't touch. And
Not when
sometimes,
you've been drinking.
no, yeah. What happened on Saturday?
Oh,
Same thing.
That was a whole.
It's the same thing. But
I don't know where that came
even
from.
when people were coming up, I was like this. I could feel myself. I was like, and instead of exposing myself like this, when I said hello, I turned I like kind of went like, I put my arm like in, so that nobody can go like,
Yeah, there's drunk Yvette and then there's normal Yvette. Okay?
Yeah, you're right.
They're two different
Drunk
Yvettes.
Yvette's a hugger, but that's
Yeah,
what she's,
she's
but
a
that's what
hugger.
she's trying
But
to
that's
say.
what I'm trying to
You
say.
have to
I'm the
choose.
one doing the touching. I'm the one doing the hugging. I'm the one doing the, grabbing of the boobs.
Yeah, no boobs are safe when you get
No,
drunk.
no boobs.
That is so funny. But again, it's the way we receive and the way we give, right?
Mhm.
So for me, physical touch and quality time are big. Now, if people give me gifts, my husband, my ex-husband used to say this all the time. He said, "You're so hard to shop for." He's super right. He's right. Because I like quality stuff. I like personal, if you're going to get me a gift, it's got to be something that's personal to me and you. And then I like it and I receive it, and then, or if you know that I'm into something and you're
Well, it's
cognizant
about
of it
quality.
and
Kind
stuff.
of how you were saying that
That's
your
what
love
I'm saying,
language is,
quality.
yeah, it's quality time. But if they're gonna gift you, there has to be quality gifting.
Yes.
Where
Yes.
it's that they thought about it. I'm a little similar with that. I actually became a little annoyed in like 2005, 2006, because I think it became very normal back then, and it still is. But back then, I feel like it was more of a push, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where everything was a gift card. Oh, somebody's birthday, gift card. Mother's Day, gift card, gift card, gift card.
Mhm.
And don't get me wrong, it's ideal if you want to buy whatever you want to buy. I get it. But because I'm also about quality, when I was getting, it was, I think it was my quinces. Like, people, it's quinceañera, you want money, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
But like close family members, my aunt, things like that, they were giving me gift cards. And I'm like, why do you act like you don't know me?
Yeah.
Like, why couldn't you think a little harder? Like, I'm sure you stop at Walgreens before coming to my quinceañera and you buy a little card and put the gift card in there and dale, and yeah. So I get what you're saying about quality gifting. Not a big fan of gift cards.
And I will say that Joanna is a very good gift giver. Like, she puts a lot of thought into her. She doesn't give you a gift. She gives you gift baskets. Every time.
Because I love you guys.
She's very good at it. And I feel like I've gotten good over the years, but
you're a good gift giver.
There was times though where I was not so good, where
that's funny. Somebody you're not fun.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. My thing is when close people to me, people that we have friendships, we have, intimate talk and things like that. You know me. Why are you getting me a gift card? Right. As a matter of fact, if you really knew me, you will really know why the heck are you buying. You will never do that.
Right. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, take me out to lunch or take me, whatever.
Yes. Yeah. I'd rather do that too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I appreciate everything people do.
It's probably one of your love languages. That's probably one of your love languages then. Gifts. Gifts. Yeah. You like to receive gifts.
It's not so much the receiving. I just feel that, like, when someone gives you something, it's because they love you. It doesn't matter what it is or whatever, no matter how big, how small, it's just the excitement that they thought of me and they actually took the effort to get me something, I think. Yeah. I'm just very thankful when it comes.
Well, when I say quality, I don't mean like
expensive.
It's got to have an expensive tag on it. It could be something you made. Oh God, if it's something you made for me, and I have a friend of mine that lives in California, her name is Patsy. She always makes stuff for me. And I love those because she's so creative. She's so artistic. And I absolutely, absolutely love when she gives me gifts because it's stuff I know that she has made herself. You know what I mean? And so that, again, pouring in the love of your, for your friendship or for your lover or for whoever it is, But sometimes people don't receive like that. They don't, that's not their love language. That's not how they receive. They may be how they give love, but then I can't expect for people to like be appreciative for the gifts that I give them, because that's the way I show my appreciation for people or my love for people. But I can't expect for them to receive it that way. So for me, okay, acts of service as well. It's up there. I think it's like number 3. There's 5. And I think that's my number 3. Because words of affirmation was my number 2. And then the physical touch and quality time were at number 1, tied for number 1. And then it was words of affirmation, which I never thought that's what I...
Oh, mine's
I didn't know.
last.
Yeah, I didn't know because, you don't have to tell me you love me. Show me you love me. Show me your words. So acts of service, actions speak louder than words. What are you doing? Because if you're telling me one thing and then you're doing another, then for me, that doesn't equate to love. Like, no, you're lying. You tell me you love me, but you're being mean to me or whatever. You're cheating.
I will say this because I actually had a friend, that we work together. There are women out there that are out just to get things. And let me tell you, and like you said, the pressures for men. Listen, Valentine's Day will come around, and whoever she was talking to, she had expectations. Like, I want at least 24 roses, for a bouquet of roses, delivered to my job. You gotta take you gotta take me out to dinner. You better buy me something. Like, and let me tell you, and this is the whole thing I was saying earlier. It's like, there's a little bit of us of having to put expectations for men, because men at the end of the day, they're almost like goal oriented. They're competitive. So if you put an expectation, they're more likely gonna want to fulfill it.
Right.
If they're in their masculine. And I'll never forget this one year, she asked for Valentine's Day for some Gucci shoes, and they were like $400. She got her shoes.
Damn.
She got her shoes. And I'm like, I mean, a little part of me, I was like, why can't I be selfish and just
be like that?
Be crazy like you?
Yeah.
Like, I can't, because I feel like I'm taking advantage of the person.
Yeah.
Because you are.
I could never.
But honestly, okay, I know this is that we're talking about materialistic things here, right?
Yes.
But she set the expectation.
She did.
She set the boundary. She set the expectation, and she was like, listen, I'm worth this much. Now, is it an equal give and take? That we don't know. I don't know. I don't know her. And we don't know what she's doing for him, as far as like, are you being the woman that is deserving of all of this? Obviously, he thinks so.
Yeah.
Or he's afraid to lose you, and he's not fully in his masculine, and he's not confident in himself, and he's afraid to lose her. And so he's just going to give it to her so that, to shut her up or to keep her happy or whatever, so she won't leave him.
Yeah.
So there's that. But I mean, she sat there and was like, this is my expectation. You meet it or you don't. That's up to you.
Yeah.
But that's my expectation.
But that's kind of like what you were saying earlier about how communication is key.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I think that was a question I was going to ask you about you and your previous relationship or your marriage. Was there ever like a conversation or talk where there was a mutual understanding of, we're not doing anything this year, we're not doing Valentine's Day?
We dated for 2 years prior to getting married, 2.5 years. And so we spent 2 Valentine's days together. And the first year he was like, I wanted to take you, to this restaurant and And I'm like, Valentine's Day doesn't mean shit to me. Like, you don't have to try that hard. Take me to the drive-thru, we pick something up, and then we go sit at a park or whatever, or go sit in the car and we just eat and talk. I'm spending time with you. That's what time. That is what is more important. We could drive through McDonald's. I don't give a fuck. Like, it does not have to be a 5-course meal. I mean, do I like fancy shit like that? Of course I do. Of course I do. Do I want it or need it to be on Valentine's Day? No. No. So yes, we did talk about that from early on. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I wasn't trying to bash him by saying that I could count on one hand how many times he made it special, but also because the expectation wasn't there.
Yeah.
I never set that expectation for him.
There was a mutual understanding.
Yes. And then, like I said, every now and then, now he would make my birthday special, and he would make Mother's Day special. And at one point he would, here, go do like a spa day. He would buy me a gift certificate to a spa. Go do this, take care of yourself. I'll be over there with the kids, so he knew exactly what was important to me.
Mm.
And, because I gave of myself so much to my family, and then he would just try to like, let me relieve that pressure from her.
Yeah.
Those kinds of gifts.
Fill up your tank.
Yes. Those kinds of gifts they go way far for me.
Emotional tank is what I meant.
Yeah.
Not necessarily. Not your gas
And he
tank.
always filled up my tank. You need gas? Okay, I'm going to take your car. So yeah, he did a lot of things right. And he was a good person, but he's just not my person. So
Right.
it was what it was. But what about you, Joe? I feel like I've been talking this whole time.
It's okay.
No, hold on. It is okay because we have several listeners telling us, "Oh, I feel like Yvette's holding back. She asked the questions, and then you."
So this is good.
This is good, girl. This is good.
I don't like. I just don't. I've never had. I am very careful with expectations. First of all,
Mm-hmm.
I'm very realistic when it comes to people. So I don't put these high standards or these high expectations on anything. Or I learned that the hard way.
Yeah.
Because there's always disappointment, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'd rather not expect anything and then be surprised by it
Mm-hmm.
when someone follows through with something, So I'm just very careful. But when I was married, he did some stuff here and there, but it wasn't like anything that was like, oh my god,
Yeah.
because I'm not a very superficial person, even though my kids think I'm fucking bougie, but I just expect someone that loves me to love me like I love them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we give each other what we give each other, and we appreciate what we give each other. Always have that love and respect for one another. I think is the biggest thing for me. So Valentine's Day was like, if we do it, we do it. If we don't, it's okay.
Yeah.
We'll go do it on the weekend because we work all week or whatever. So it's never been a big thing for me.
Going back to the pressures on men, I feel like it's a good topic to bring up with our next whoever we invite to come and visit us on Chats con Sabor, our male friends, male guests. I don't know, to see how they feel, on their end,
Mm-hmm.
like the pressures. I can imagine because, I mean, granted, Valentine's Day is about love, so it includes two people. But let's be real, it's mostly about the women.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Let me show my woman how much I love her, how much I appreciate her. Let me spoil her, which again is all fine and dandy. Like I think it's awesome when people want to do that, but you don't need that special day to do it.
But you notice everything they push for Valentine's Day
Yes.
is for women.
Yes. Listen, the minute that
Christmas too.
The minute that we were done with Christmas, I think we had gone to the CVS or something, and we were ready for trying to get some stuff for New Year's. Christmas had just finished. Okay, we're trying to get stuff for New Year's. Like the New Year hasn't even started. The whole the aisle was all Valentine's.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God! Like if that's not commercialization, I don't know what is. Like that's just ridiculous. Here we go. The pressures of having to do whatever on Valentine's. It's like, oh my God. So anyway, yeah, I think it's a little wild. We're talking about expectations though, and not having any or not setting expectations because you don't want to be disappointed. Basically, I'd like to know.
I was going back to it too. I was going back to it.
Carry on.
I would like to know because, Linda mentioned about how she's in this era of her life now where she's not going to be quiet about what she wants and what she likes. Like don't feel bad, don't feel guilty of if he doesn't do it, he doesn't do it. Or when you say that you're careful about expectations, is it more of like you trying to protect yourself so that you aren't disappointed? Yeah, so you're not disappointed?
Not really. I just feel like I guess through therapy, I've learned that when people are going to be people,
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that I'm taking anything away from what I want and what I need. That will be communicated.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I want and need. That's not what I expect from you. If you're willing to give me what I need
Mm-hmm.
and what I want, that's on you. You know, I'm okay with you being you and me being me. But that's where my limit is. I will communicate with you what I need.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you're good with it, then okay, we can continue. If you're not, then that's okay too.
Yeah.
You know, it's not that I have like these insecurities or whatever,
Mhm.
or XYZ. It's because I know my self worth.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to be in my life, we both need to be on the same page. So I'm communicating to you, this is who I am. This is usually what I need, or whatever it is. If you can fulfill those needs, that's good. If
Mm-hmm.
you can't, it's not going to affect me in any way. Maybe that's my switch of shutting down. I don't know. But I feel like most of my life I have been disappointed. So maybe that is something that has opened my eyes to being able to separate something that is needed
Mm-hmm.
between something that is wanted.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
this is what I need, this is what I want. So I prefer someone to give me what I need than what I want.
Of course.
You know, because what you need is what fulfills you within.
Right. Right.
What you want is probably superficial.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or materialistic. Oh, I want that, you know. I wanted that bag the other day or something like that. So, I mean, I think the only thing that I've ever said to myself in my life is that if I was ever to get married again, my ring would have to be stacked. And the man that would be able to fulfill that dream will get me. And no comments after that.
Yes.
I was just gonna
Yeah.
say we'll leave that one right
Yes.
there.
No, I wasn't. Yeah. Now, on my own experience, and maybe you can chime in into this, right? Well, you both know him. So I was talking to this one guy, right? And he was a good guy, a great guy. But then my needs of, okay, this is how I want to be treated, right? This is how I want to be approached. Again, I'm a romantic, right? So I want to be with somebody that's going to be, feel like I'm the freaking center of the world. That's what it comes down to. Make me feel like, you appreciate me. And that doesn't mean, let me clarify, that this person did not appreciate me or that he did not think that I was worth it, which I'll be honest, I had to come to terms with. Because it was hard to me to understand, if you like me, why wouldn't you show interest? Why wouldn't you, right? But then I had to make peace with, it's not who he is. So if that's not who he is, and this is what I need, not I want, I need, because again, like Yvette said, I'm in this new stage where I put my desires in the back burner for many years, where I was taking care of my family, I was taking care, and what I wanted, quite frankly, wasn't that important, and I was okay with it. I allowed it, and I was okay with it, but now in this new stage in my life, I'm like, no, I want to be the protagonist of my life.
And that's okay.
And whoever I'm with, I want them to partake in that, not make me feel like I'm higher than them, but simply show me appreciation and love the way that I like to. And when this person was not able to make me feel that way, and he was not, and quite frankly, it was not so much he couldn't make me feel that way, he was not interested to put in the work to make me feel that way.
Right.
And again, good guy. So I had to be like, you know what? Then move on. Next. I can't stay here.
Yeah.
Because he's a good guy, I ended up dating him, and fast forward, we get married. Then in their relationship, I'm gonna be upset because why is he not doing this? Why is he not doing that? Because I'm expecting something out of him that he doesn't have. It's not him. And that's what I had to understand and accept. And
you accepted him in that way into your life.
Correct.
So that's the other thing too. I think that a lot of times we have to take responsibility for what we accept, what we put up with.
Yes.
What we say, okay, well, in your mind or in our minds, it's a red flag, or even if it's a yellow flag. It doesn't necessarily have to be a red flag, but if it's just like, but we overlook it because we think, well, when we get married or when we're in a relationship, then he will do these things for me.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Or he will provide whatever emotional support or whatever it is, No, because why? Because you accepted it, because you were okay with it. And so we can't expect. I think we had this conversation with a few episodes ago when we had our two special guests, that we literally didn't set that expectation. So you were talking about your ex-husband in that situation or that relationship. You expected him to rise up to the level that he wasn't ready or capable of rising up to, but you were like, okay, well, but I'll get him there, or I'll help him get there, basically, And then when he couldn't reach that, he complained and like, well, you expect too much from me, or I didn't know you needed that from me, because the communication wasn't there and the expectations weren't set. This friend of yours set that expectation, the one, or not the friend, but the girl from the workplace, set that expectation, and she was like, I want this Gucci bag or these Gucci shoes or Louboutins or whatever. This is what I expect. This is the level of gift giving that I expect, If you can't handle that, that's okay. I will move on and I'll get it from somebody else, because there are plenty of men that probably are lined up, because she's probably beautiful, lined up to give her whatever she wants.
Yeah.
She knows that she can get it. But when we don't take responsibility for the fact that we allowed that kind of treatment or whatever it is, we don't, and we just allowed it, and we don't take responsibility for that, then we become the victim, and we think that, oh my gosh, well, he doesn't love me, or he didn't treat me right, or he did at first. But if you really sit down and you think about it, you probably accepted a broken man into your life, into the relationship, and he had no intentions of ever healing,
That was first her friend. Her friend just shows that she knows her worth. She loves herself. But at the end of the day, you can say, I want Gucci, I want Louis Vuitton, but how do you feel after you get that? Do you feel okay? Do you feel fulfilled because you just got that Louis Vuitton bag? No, you feel empty again after a couple days of having that bag,
right?
And you move on to the next person to fulfill that emptiness that you have in your. There's nothing wrong with you being love yourself, being true to yourself, and everything. But when that love is based on what others can give you, then you have an empty soul, my friend. And that's it, because you become a very selfish human being, and you don't care about anyone else but yourself.
Right.
And when you're that way, you have a big old hole in your
heart,
in your
soul,
heart, in your soul, and you're missing a lot of things. And you just keep doing things to fill that void, when there's self-reflection that you have to do upon yourself. Hey, if people are willing to do that for him or her, by all means.
Yeah.
But that is someone that I do not want to be. I'd rather be fulfilled emotionally than materialistically.
Exactly.
I agree.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's why I was saying earlier, it's like, good on her for setting the expectations. Like that part she did. Now, is she reciprocating? That's the other piece that we don't know, right? I don't know. Is she, like you're saying, empty inside and she's trying to like fill the void basically with all these materialistic things, or trying to use people? Is she a user or whatever? Is she not a good person? We don't know. I don't know her.
We don't
so
know. We don't know. I'm not passing judgment. I'm just saying that because there's always something to someone's actions, So there's always something behind what it is a person in that specific situation feels. Like Linda, in my marriage, it got to the point that I was always trying. And when you're married and you grow up very old school, especially Hispanic, you take care of your spouse. You love your spouse. You make sure the kids are good. You make sure the house is good. You make sure all this stuff is good. But then at the end of the day, when your husband is not giving you what you need in return, and you're pouring into his love tank all the time, and then you become empty, then there's a problem there. And my ex was he was a taker. He would give on his terms, and he would take all the time. And I'm not speaking ill of him. I'm just being very truthful because I lived it. Nobody else lived it. I lived it.
Right.
So I started learning that I needed to love myself in order to be able to love someone right.
Right.
And that's where I'm at. That's why my expectations is more like communication. If we can't get to an understanding, then we don't need to be together.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And I feel like in life, every relationship I've been in, it takes work.
Always.
Relationships are work. Love is work. I mean, when people say, "Oh no, love should be easy," and this and that,
It's not easy.
No, it's not. You got to choose it. You got to choose it, and then you have to choose to fight for it. You know.
And relationships are a lot of fighting, not fighting with each other, but fighting to be better, to be able to change things and understand the other person. And when that person doesn't feel understood, staying quiet and listening and processing and not attacking and not being vicious and stuff like that. I mean, it takes work because there's times that, you know, if I don't agree with Kevin and I'm in my masculine, I want to pop off on him. Like, you know, I want to say something to him, but then I think of where his mental state is right now and where if I do XYZ, where it's going to go. And I don't want that for us. I don't want that for our relationship. So I let him have his moment, let him do what he needs to do. And then, you know, we'll come back to it. And we'll talk about it. If not, we won't talk about it. And then it'll fester and fester and fester. And it just becomes bigger, bigger and bigger. And then it's an explosion, you know? So I'd rather communicate things when they're happening or give that person a couple hours before it gets too bad.
Yeah. So
we could fix it. If it gets to the point one day in life that it can't be fixed, then it can't be fixed. And that's the people need to understand. Relationships are work. Lord, you got to pour into each other. And it's 100%, 100%. None of that 50-50. Because your love tank's at 100%.
Yep.
And when somebody's sucking it dry, it takes a long time to fill that puppy back up.
Oh, yeah.
I actually agree with that. I agree with the whole, you got to give 100%. Both parties have to give 100%. There's no 50-50. Because then you're you're not even meeting each other halfway. You know? So, yeah. What else do you guys want to talk about as far as Valentine's Day goes? I know we said at the beginning of the show that we're going to take a break. So we are posting this at the end. I think we're doing like the last weekend of January. And then we're taking full month of February off.
But working on stuff behind the scenes.
Oh, yeah, we'll be working. We'll be working, but not posting. Yeah, not recording to post. Yeah. So we're coming back strong in March, which will be fun.
I'm excited. I really hope we can, you know, I've had people tell me, you know, that our laugh is contagious.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, when they start seeing our faces.
Lord of mercy.
Oh, guys, if you will see our face when we laugh.
And then when we both, like, Yvette's, like, centered and Linda and I are seeing squirrels because you can see it all over her face. We're like, that empty glare of, oh, wait,
you lost me. Oh, I'm back.
And I'm basically talking to myself.
Just for a split second.
Just for a second. Yeah, it'll be fun. It will be fun. Well, we're almost at the hour mark.
Already?
Yeah.
Wow. You know, isn't it crazy how when we first started, we're like, okay, our episodes are going to be just 30 minutes. And here we are, an hour is going by so fast. I obviously thought this would be like 40 minutes because we're talking about a light topic that I thought it was not going to go so deep, which we did, which we always do. I love how we always end up getting deep into conversation, but this is great.
I think that's the whole purpose or the whole point to our conversations and us sharing with the world, though, is like, and we are sharing with the world. I mean, the whole world isn't listening yet, but
it's out there for them to listen.
Yeah, we are sharing with everyone. So it's not like we're nitpicking and saying, oh, we only want these people to listen, but that's the whole point, is that our conversations go down so many different paths, and we just go on tangents and we start talking about other things, but then we come back and full circle. Okay, what were we talking about? Yeah.
It always happens.
So fun. But Linda has our words of wisdom for today.
Or the last words of wisdom for the season.
Yeah, for season 1. Ending season 1 off with a bang.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. My password is not working. What's happening, folks? Oh, there it is. Okay, and it is. When the old parts of you are dying, they don't go with a whisper. They cry and they bargain and they beg. They are there to remind you, even of the times I kept you safe. They're going to cling to the new parts of you that are attempting to grow. They remind you how terrifying endings are and how frightening is the unknown. L.E. Bauman. And I think it's super important and relevant because we tend to minimize grief, right? And grief goes in all kinds of levels, not just relationships. It could be a loss of the job and you have to find a new job or whatever it may be. And I think we do tend to bargain with those parts of us that we no longer want to be. But it's kind of when you're in a bad relationship or a toxic relationship and it's many, many years later, when you look back at the relationship, you tend to remember the good and not the bad, right? It's almost like a condition that we do safety for us. And I think it happens the same when we're growing. We are afraid and we want to romanticize even this trait. It could be like habits that we're breaking, right? Like, smoking is not that bad, or whatever the case may be. Because we just think about the good and not really the reason why we decided to move on. Who we are here. We're all about growing and being better people. So I thought it was a good little reminder that when we grow, it's not going to be always fun. It's going to feel dreadful and painful. Yeah. But we have to stay focused in our goals and who are we becoming and embrace it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's a saying that says, your new life is going to cost you your old one.
That's right.
So as you evolve as a person, as you grow, like you were saying, you are going to have to get rid of or let go of either belief systems or ways of being, people in your life, the type of person that you were prior. Evolution is hard. It's not easy, just like relationships. They are hard. And I think the hardest part of a relationship is letting go of it. Yeah. That's the hardest part because, again, we tend to kind of, hang on, want to grasp on to that old part of us or the old life that we had or relationship, whatever it was. And you're right, it is a grieving process because you're actually releasing something or you want to release something, but sometimes it's kind of hard, to let go, and yeah, I think it's very apropos, especially for Valentine's Day. So it's a good one. Thanks, Linda.
You're welcome. Well, guys, thank you for listening. This is the end of season 1. Thank you, ladies, for joining me. And you know what? Thank you for jumping on this train, together and just taking the lead.
The crazy train. I wish we had the song like where we could just play it Crazy Train.
All right, listeners, have a great February and we'll see you in March.
That's right. We'll see you then. Thanks so much for joining us on Chats con Sabor.
Adios. Bye-bye.